Hello everyone, welcome to Raising Vibrations. You're with Simon, and today we're doing a full moon in Virgo conversation reports. I'm just basically going to be sharing with you some of my ideas around what I feel is potentially capable of, or we are potentially capable of with these current astrological alignments, and maybe to influence our perception of how we can interact with these evolutionary alignments in a way that is very inspirational. Okay, so the full moon in Virgo happened on the 22nd of February 2016, as you know, and I'll bring up the chart really shortly to really jump into that and have a look at it. But as we know at the moment, a lot of the ways in which we as human beings have related to astrology, and this is what I really wanted to open up with in this conversation, was the way that we relate to astrology in the past and how we've used it in the past has been to, in some way, shape or form, in a large majority, to figure out how to make predictions for the future, how to get a sense of what type of energy patterns are going to be taking place for us going a little bit further ahead, and then allowing us to based on that information make certain adjustments to the way that we perceive things or get excited or whatever it is that generally happens with those experiences. Now, one of the one side of the situation is that what's actually occurring is we are wanting to know more about the unknown. And this is, of course, a natural psychology that we have with ourselves, because in every single moment, vulnerability is what we are facing, right? Vulnerability around how to go ahead with certain things, how to make choices with certain things, and how to, in a very, even a more deeper way, trust that we will be safe over and above wanting to just feel vulnerable, but really trust that we will be safe, like on a deep gut level. So the way that we've used astrology, in my opinion, up until then, has supported a specific dynamic regarding the way that we as human beings have lived, okay? And now, because of the nature of the astrology chart, I want to bring to attention some of the factors that are actually currently in the chart today and are currently happening at this point in time that influences this conversation, that makes it feel like there's a sense of importance regarding revisiting the way that we perceive, respond to, and understand astrology in our lives. Okay? So what's fascinating is that it's a Virgo full moon. So naturally, the nature of our reality is going to be very analytical from the point of view of the human mind. Okay, Virgo in itself, outside the human personality, doesn't actually correlate to any analysis whatsoever, in my opinion. It just has a sequential event of not emotions, but energy that is broken down, and our capacity to rearrange energy in specific ways gives us more flow, so we can experience more of its polarity point. So that's what I really mean about my statement. But on a human level, because of the nature of the way that we are, it's this self-analysis, this need to really go within and reflect upon the nature of our actual reality versus the one that could be created through an illusion. So the Virgo brings us to this point where we can analyze the nature and maybe look at the ways in which the patterns in which we have used a specific tool, i.e. in this case astrology, and how we can transcend Neptune, polarity point, okay, these outdated definitions, Saturn square the nodal axis, okay? So my question is, or not my question, but my feeling towards it is, we have used astrology in the past to make predictions for us to feel good about ourselves, and in some other cases to know about the future, to do all these types of things. But really, the capacity for us to actually truly transcend our human limitations and access higher, meaningful experiences literally gets cut off. Okay, this is something that I'm really feeling is a big deal to talk about, and of course it takes a little bit of time to process. So, you know, I feel that going forward, I would like to inspire everybody in some way, shape, or form to use the astrology to objectify the nature of your inner reality. Okay. And then from that objectification or sense of attunement with certain planetary alignments that are happening and that are reflecting to you what's actually changing within you, to be able to then from that point use that as a way to anchor yourself or bring yourself more into the physical reality, okay, Virgo, and allow yourself to be more emotionally present with your life and the evolutionary challenges that you face as your soul evolves through the archetypes it chose to evolve through. Okay? So, in other words, my sun sign's in Aries, so I'm going to look at Aries and I'm going to say, okay, fantastic, the sun's moving in Aries. It means that for Aries that this is going to happen. And, to be quite honest, those things do actually manifest in a very, I would say, like subtle way. But if you were, say, for instance, observing the nature of a current astrological transit that was taking place, like a solar return, for instance, and you looked at the totality of the chart, in other words, at the moment, I'm currently going through not me personally, but just as an example, how you would objectify this in your own reality. If you were to observe in your reality that you're having a Pluto transit going through your third house, as an example, you would notice that you would have Saturn maybe forming a square to your south node, okay? And then a couple of other things that were taking place, like the level of sensitivity relating to how your psyche, mental, okay, let's just do this, mental, spiritual, and emotional bodies are metamorphosizing. And so by giving yourself this opportunity, you actually see not only more of the dimensions of what you are, you also give yourself a deeper knowing of how to shift into yourself aspects, emotional attachments, whatever it is that you have in a very profound way. Because it's almost like you're taking a spade that is 3 millimeters big and looking at your sun sign kind of like horoscope and saying, I really want to change my life. And so therefore I'm going to use this practical application to shift the necessary psychological, philosophical, and emotional definitions that I have in me so that I can then, move in the direction I wish to do. But the sun sign is going to help me. Now, I just want to make it clear in sort of inverted brackets over here. I'm not saying that is wrong. I'm not saying don't look at them or that it's irrelevant. Absolutely not. In fact, I'm saying it's good to observe the totality of your existence. So outside that realm is also very important and equally beneficial to observing the nature of your use of astrology in your life. But here comes the next thing, okay? Here comes the next thing. So close the bracket over there, put the full stop, move forward in the sense. If we were to use now what it is that I'm sharing with you, the context of what I might be saying is very different. So lost in translation becomes something that's, there's possibly apparent over here. And I know from my own personal experience that I tend to actually probably lose a lot of people when I talk. So my job is to kind of make it very palatable. So what I want to say as my next step is that, okay, cool, Simon, thanks very much. You allowed me to, you've asked me to look at something from this perspective and integrate it into myself. So then we take another step and we start looking at all these things. But then all of a sudden we get like incredibly overwhelmed, okay? And as we get overwhelmed with all of this stuff, it almost feels as if it becomes one where I had a handle and an idea of what it is that I was doing, i.e. just a sun sign or just moon sign, to now all the complexities associated with looking at my chart and the types of shiftings in there. And I think that that's really what I wanted to capture in this conversation, in the fact that the new moon or full moon is in Virgo opposed the sun, which is in Pisces, and it's in this Virgo Pisces axis of recognizing how incredibly complex we are, and yet simultaneously how simple things can be. It's like a Virgo Pisces thing. And even in this conversation, my idea here is to anchor in the energy of the chart in a way where the archetypes are present. So as an example, if we go over to the chart over here, which I'll do for us right now, let's move over there. Okay, so let's just get that up for us here. You've got, there's the moon opposed there. So Virgo Pisces, right? The totality of creation, Pisces, the overwhelmingness of this chart. Oh, you mean to tell me I got to now look at this transit over here of Mars, got to do that over there. Oh my gosh, it's just too overwhelming. I can't do it. And then you have the Virgo-ness of the really simplicity and the anchoring in of the energy in a more sort of grounded way. So that story was that kind of process. And then showing us how we can actually liberate ourselves from the belief system, Sagittarius, and the structure of those belief systems, Saturn, and how they're squaring the nodal axis. In other words, the south and north node, which is representative of the past and the future. So the past dynamics needing to be dissolved in order for us to then become more efficient and clearer, Virgo, about the nature of why we use these practical tools to objectify the nature of our reality. Okay? I'm not finished yet with that thing though. So now you take this chart, you look at it and you go, okay, fantastic. I've been doing this. How does it all work? Like, obviously I need an astrologer to help me out with this process. I still say, go ahead and study this for yourself. Now, obviously you're doing this already. Obviously this is something that you're already saying, okay, well, I'm going onto the internet. That's how I came to your channel. That's how I did all these things, right? What do you mean by learning for yourself? Well, I feel it's really, really important to take a practical tool, whatever it might be, in your life and really, really study it. Okay, whatever that might be, and really integrate it into your life for the ideas of self-improvement, for the ideas of emotional healing, for the ideas of whatever it is that you need in your life to improve the nature of your current situation, to empower yourself. And to really choose that, to find something that really helps you in that way, and to really integrate it, like anchor it in. We spend so much of our time worrying about stuff that doesn't matter because of our psychological programming that we lose the essence of this whole story. Okay, we lose the essence of this whole entire incarnation. And it's almost as if it's like, oh wow, I'm going to incarnate into this plane, and I'm going to, through a sense of, and please, I don't mean that everybody is this way, so don't shoot the way that my higher self is bringing this through, but I'm going to use my laziness to a certain degree to space out and disassociate and to disintegrate myself from the amazingness of my life or the potential of this lifetime, because maybe the technology that is around me has made me a lot more lazier, right? Things are easier. So when we get challenged with things that require a sense of effort, the nature of our monkey brain and our psychology is to actually go, oh, I can't be asked. And I know that for a lot of souls that are struggling to really want to get themselves into a place where they can feel like their lives are in power and they can have choices, they struggle with the point of getting through or breaking through the soil, as it were, the challenges that you face in your disempowered state, and to not take the necessary psychological patterns of saying, no matter what, I'm still going to follow my dreams. No matter what, I'm still going to connect to the mission, and to be present with that mission all the time. And to know that my whole entire life is my mission, and to not give up. Now, of course, there's like a plethora of our dynamics that can play out in our lives where the idea of just saying those things themselves is not enough. You know, we all come in with certain challenges that we really struggle with, that are emotionally not okay to 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 just discard because some guy on a YouTube channel said that I needed to be this way. That's not what I'm saying. Okay, to just to make sure that I myself am not being non-clear about my message here. What I am saying is that the current like energy pattern formed at this stage has really offered us this potential and this opportunity to see our creativity and our sense of meaning in a new light. Okay. Now, of course, and in the description below, and as somebody that's watching this from the membership program, you will know that this is for the article, right? So there's an article that gets written where I download the information, and in there is a lot of what I'm actually talking about. So in the article of the new moon, the full moon of Virgo, I actually made it out as you are the universe. And the reason why is because not only is the sun moving into Pisces and connecting us to the totality of it, but recognizing that our journey here from a more higher perspective, spiritual place, is to fulfill our cosmic mission. And of course, the natural dynamics associated with those, our situation has got a lot to do with where the soul is, what it chooses to experience. And yet on the more physical plane, which is our body, the body reflects to us through its senses what type of desires we wish to evolve through. Okay? And that I feel is like a really big thing to recognize, that the body itself and the spiritual self connected gives us this opportunity to be creative about how we want to actually take control of our lives, and to be inspired in every single moment to find out our true potential, and to even try to, when we are, sitting in situations where maybe we're going through a Saturn through the 10th house transit, and that means that, for a period of time we have to deal with some of our limitations and blocks, and so it can feel depressing. Oh my gosh, okay, well, I really wanted to do this, but it doesn't seem like it's happening, or, Saturn and bad luck, or, I'm never getting recognized for it. It's like those are the real facts of our lives. Everything else outside of ourselves is the man-made ideas of what we think creation is. And yes, to a certain degree, it is creation, and there's no separation, so that's what we have. But it appears to me as if a lot of what we give credit to that we think is real, and when I say real, I don't mean illusionary in that sense. I mean real in the sense that what really matters down at the end, when we sit on our deathbed, or when we're at this point where we are filled with regret, and we go, maybe that conversation with that person, or with my best friend, or so on and so forth, wasn't really that worth me getting upset about and not speaking to them forever and a day. Maybe there was a part of me that felt like I can forgive more, as it were, and to really master the emotional reality. So I feel like this new moon in Virgo, this full moon in Virgo, really gives us this potential and this opportunity for us to heal some of those aspects, and to really find a sense of identity and a sense of connectedness to the physical earth plane, and to find inspiration and allow the senses to break free from the psychological dynamics that we have used in the past to justify our reality, and to even use it as a way to make us feel secure and safe. Whereas really, I feel like it's stopping us from actually experiencing us truly. So as I come back to the original point in the conversation when I started it, about the changing of astrology and why we would use it for predictions, is that a lot of the time, the complexity of ourselves is so incredibly deep and vast, that in order for us to truly capture the nature of who we are, we can't limit ourselves by our own insecurities and feelings and operate from that space and just never challenge it. But to really look at it and say, you know what, hey, like, I'm here, I've just found out my sun sign, this is what it means, and I'm going to use it to understand myself more deeply, like all is self, right? So if I'm moon in Pisces or sun sign in Pisces, for instance, my question is not, this is who I am, this is what I do. It's like, why have I chosen the sun sign in Pisces? What am I learning? What am I seeing? How am I integrating myself as a sun sign in Pisces? and shifting away from needing to feel secure to personal inquiry that creates necessary depth and integration of one's personality that then over a period of time will lead to more feelings of security because you know yourself. And see the difference over there. And so that's what I leave you with today on this part of the chart analysis. I really hope that you enjoyed this, guys. Write in comments below, of course, if you felt that this was inspiring and it touched a nerve in some way, shape, or form. Some of the other things that I just wanted to let you know about is that on the article itself, I've decided to want to open up a little bit more to some of the souls that are out there at this stage that are really seeking to find a meaningful, or not a meaningful, but a more direct experience of their own story. So check out read the full moon and Virgo article, and down below I've created, or my partner has created, specific dynamics over there for people to interact with different types of services and such. Okay. All right, guys, fantastic. Hope you have a wonderful week, and I'll see you with chart of the day very shortly. Take care. Bye-bye.